This cruise ship got attacked by Somali pirates. During a cruise before COVID-19 became the biggest threat at sea, a group of pirates in speedboats raced towards a cruise ship off the coast of Somalia. Their aim was to hijack the vessel, its crew and passengers for a hefty ransom. It happened in the afternoon on a clear day. We could see 8 to 13 speedboats clearly zigzagging in front of the massive cruise ship, which weighed 102,000 tons and stretched 273 meters long. The ship carried 2,720 passengers. The pirate strategy was to slow down the ship and attempt to board it. Another pirate attempt occurred around 11 p.m. the following night. As passengers, we were aware of the danger in these waters and had received a letter advising us on how to prepare. The letter instructed us that if the pirates managed to board the ship, we should follow the loudspeaker instructions and proceed to a secure area for lockdown. I won't mention the name of the cruise liner, but it was a European one, and all announcements, whether about bingo or shipping information, were made in 4 languages. This could potentially cause confusion in a high-stakes situation with pirates. Additional precautions were taken. Passengers in outside cabins were required to keep their lights off, creating a blackout. Outside decks were prepared with water cannons and were off-limits to all passengers. Even the usually lively upper decks, where nighttime activities usually took place, were quieter than a church on a Tuesday. When we think of pirates, our minds often wander to fictional characters like Hook, Sparrow, or the Pirates of Penzance. However, modern pirates are a far cry from these romanticized figures. They are determined and dangerous individuals, armed with AK-47s and a fierce attitude. These desperate young men venture out to sea in their small speedboats, fearlessly taking on massive ships weighing over 150,000 tons. But labeling them as mere opportunistic mercenaries seeking treasures would be an oversimplification. Modern piracy is a highly organized and lucrative industry involving significant sums of money and calculated risks. It originated in Somalia during the early 1990s as a response to the devastation caused by civil war. After the fighting subsided, Somalis realized that their fishing waters had been exploited by foreign fishermen while they were engaged in conflict. Some Somalis took offense to this intrusion and defended their waters. Eventually, they discovered that they could demand money from these intruders and even earn larger sums by holding them for ransom when towing them back to the coast. Over time, these operations have evolved into sophisticated enterprises. According to Oliver Taylor of Listverse, January 2019, there are approximately 72 pirate groups, which can be seen as maritime companies. These groups operate similarly to public companies, with investors contributing money or equipment, such as guns, in the hopes of receiving substantial returns. In the event of a successful hijacking, the majority of the money goes to these investors, rather than the individuals in the speedboats who face the intimidating cargo ships. These foot soldiers typically receive a meager sum of $30,000 to $75,000. Those who bring their own ladder and gun may receive an additional $10,000 allowance. While this money holds significant value in a place like Somalia, it pales in comparison to the millions paid in ransoms. If a ship is targeted by pirates, there are 6 possible outcomes: failure to capture the ship, repelling the pirate's attack, release of the ship after a ransom is paid, release of the ship without a ransom, rescue of the ship and its crew. An unknown outcome, which can be uncertain due to the complex nature of piracy, international finance, and corporate reputation, also exists. Now let's consider how piracy unfolds. A maritime company secures investors and sends out foot soldier pirates who identify a potential target. These pirates, often working in groups using speedboats, employ a 2-pronged strategy. Some attempt to slow down the targeted ship by maneuvering in a zigzag pattern in front of it, while others approach from the side to board. If the pirates successfully capture the ship, they take it back near the Somali coast and initiate ransom negotiations. These pirates can play a patient game, sometimes holding hostages for as long as 6 months. The hostages are provided with basic necessities through donations from investors. However, the pirates primarily value the cargo over the crew, so they may resort to violence if necessary, or if the captives become uncooperative. Nevertheless, there is also a chance that the pirates may release the hostages and return the ship. If representatives of these maritime companies were to appear on Shark Tank seeking new investors, it would be oddly fitting. and their proposal would be seriously considered. From an investor's perspective, the upfront cost of a hijack attempt is only the fuel expense. With the potential for multi-million-dollar payoffs, investors envision a lucrative outcome that allows them to indulge in luxury and extravagant lifestyles, as ill-gotten gains are often spent in such ways. However, the likelihood of striking the ransom jackpot is quite low. Looking at the recorded data from 230 attacks since 2005, the results are as follows. 42 attempts failed to capture the ship, and the pirates eventually gave up and left. 16 attacks were repelled by the crew and/or passengers. 84 ships were released after being captured without any ransom being paid. 27 cases fall under the unknown category. 40 instances resulted in a successful payday for the pirates, indicating a success rate of 17.4%. This means there is an 82.6% chance of not getting a return on investment in any given pirate raid. However, when a successful raid does occur, the rewards are substantial. According to an article by the Board of Innovation, in 2010 alone, $148 million was paid in ransoms to pirates. Interestingly, insurance companies emerge as the true winners, receiving 10 times more than the pirates themselves. In that same year, $1.85 billion was paid for piracy cover. It's worth noting that the International Marine Bureau reported 1,181 people being taken hostage in Somali waters in 2010. However, according to this article, only one ransom was paid to Somali pirates during that year, indicating that someone did strike it rich. The risk of a cruise ship being attacked or hijacked by pirates is generally low. Pirates primarily target cargo ships due to their valuable cargo and small crew. Cruise ships present a more complex situation. And while pirates have attacked various types of vessels, the incidents involving cruise ships are relatively rare. The level of risk also depends on the sailing route. The statistics mentioned in the article specifically pertain to incidents in the Gulf of Aden, also known as Pirate Alley, as it is the most dangerous area in terms of piracy. The map below highlights the high-risk zone in that region. Out of the 230 recorded attacks, only 6 targeted cruise ships, and none resulted in a successful hijacking. One well-known incident occurred in 2005 when the Seaborne Spirit was fired upon in an attempted hijacking. Although the attempt was unsuccessful, it gained attention due to the recorded footage and media coverage. However, it wasn't the most dramatic hijacking attempt. Other cruise ships, as mentioned in this article, have encountered gunfire, and one even faced a hand grenade attack. However, pirates have never managed to breach a cruise ship with passengers on board. In 2009, there was an incident where pirates captured a cruise ship but released it promptly upon realizing it had no passengers aboard. Private yachts are more vulnerable than cruise ships. 8 yacht attacks have been reported, some resulting in fatalities, but most yachts are either rescued or released without a ransom after a period of captivity. In a notable incident in 2011, the crew of a Taiwanese yacht fought back against an attack, throwing the pirates overboard and successfully escaping. Even military vessels have been targeted by pirates. Some pirates have attempted to board and capture military ships, but these encounters usually end unfavorably for the pirates. In a 2006 case, a U.S. military ship was breached, resulting in the capture of 12 pirates and the death of 1. Once pirates realize they've boarded a military vessel, they quickly retreat to avoid further consequences. The chances of a pirate attack during your next cruise are slim, because piracy levels have significantly decreased in recent years. From 2008 to 2011, there were 200 recorded pirate attacks in the Gulf of Aden. The highest number of incidents occurred in 2009 or 10, around the same time Captain Phillips encountered trouble by sailing too close to the Somali coast. During that year, 75 other vessels also had encounters with pirates. However, the situation has improved since then. Pirate Alley, the waters in the Gulf of Aden, is now closely monitored by task forces comprised of international Navy personnel. This increased presence seems to have deterred pirates, as there were only 2 reported incidents in 2017 and just 1 in 2018. The efforts of these task forces have made a notable impact in reducing pirate activity in the region. Cruise ships employ various tactics to protect themselves from pirate attacks, utilizing both defensive and offensive strategies. Defensive strategies focus on minimizing the chances of pirates successfully capturing the ship. These measures include implementing blackout conditions, closing off decks, and reducing noise to avoid detection. In case of an attack, passengers are directed to secure areas like the theater and restaurants, keeping them away from direct contact with pirates. On the offensive side, cruise ships have a range of options that escalate based on the severity of the situation. At the lower end of the scale, the captain may employ evasive maneuvers like zigzagging or increasing speed to outrun the pirates. High-pressure hoses are also prepared to deter attackers by knocking them off their ladders. Additionally, long-range acoustic devices, or LRADs, can be used, emitting powerful sonic waves that can cause hearing damage from a distance. In more extreme cases, cruise ships have trained snipers on board. These snipers, dressed in black ninja-like attire and armed with large guns, remain hidden unless there is a need to take action. Some crew members may also possess specialized combat training, but their identities remain undisclosed until necessary. By combining these defensive and offensive measures, cruise ships aim to ensure the safety and security of their passengers and crew in the face of potential pirate threats. When faced with a pirate attack, cruise ships have specific protocols in place to ensure the safety of passengers and crew. The initial response is to increase speed and maneuver in a zigzag pattern. These actions are often enough to deter pirates and make them retreat. The incident involving the Seaborne Spirit is an example of this successful defense. In a notable encounter on the MSC Melody in 2009, passengers noticed a small boat approaching the ship after attending a gala concert. The crew was immediately alerted, and the passengers, still dressed in their elegant attire, used tables and chairs to thwart the attackers from boarding. Although the pirates fired shots at the passengers, they eventually gave up and left. Fortunately, no passengers were harmed during this incident. It's important to note that taking matters into one's own hands, as the passengers did in this case, is not recommended or expected. By following established procedures and taking defensive actions, cruise ships aim to repel pirate attacks and ensure the safety of everyone on board. So what happened during the pirates' attack on my recent cruise? Thankfully, the situation was resolved without any harm. The Australian passengers on board, embodying the Anzac spirit, were prepared to defend themselves by throwing bread rolls if necessary. However, their assistance wasn't required in the end. The captain took swift action by accelerating the ship, forcing the pirates to retreat. Although the cruise liner and most of the crew didn't officially acknowledge the incident, one crew member did confirm its occurrence. When asked about the incident, many crew members dismissed it as mere gossip and inquired if there was any photographic evidence. In truth, we also didn't fully disclose the details of the incident. In the end, the ship managed to evade the pirates and the situation was resolved, allowing everyone on board to continue their journey safely. If you want to watch more videos like this, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and if you have any thoughts, make sure you comment them down below in the comment section.